Okay.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to a kind of Hisashiburi level version of Shochu'sday. Welcome back. I am your host, Christopher Pellegrini. With me, as always, is Stephen Lyman. We are not both in Japan this time. I happen
Mhm.
to be on the other side of the planet. But Stephen, how you doing?
Yeah, magic of technology, huh? You can be sitting in a hotel room in on the East Coast of the United States. Maybe I won't disclose where just yet, since I'm not sure. And I'm in Fukuoka, and yeah, I'm doing well. I actually have already had a productive day. I've submitted my passport renewal at the Fukuoka consulate, and
Nice.
yeah, getting things off to a pretty great start. Good to see you. Glad we could find time to do this. You and I have both had a pretty hectic travel schedule over the last month and haven't been able to catch up. I mean, I haven't. You and I are used to being on Zooms almost every day,
Yeah,
and this is one of the first times we've been face to face in a while.
that's definitely
Yeah,
true, especially if just the two of us.
yeah, missed you, man.
Yeah, you too. It's been it's been a little too long. Yeah, I've just been, you know how it goes, just out
Sure.
on the road,
Oh yeah,
hitting the pavement and going hoarse from all the talking, quite
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me. I was in New York, I guess what, 2 weeks ago now, and I had constant meetings. I was talking 4, 5, 6 hours a day to customers, to buyers, to bartenders, to anybody who would listen. And yeah, by the end of it, I lost my voice.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, it's
So
also I've had a little bit of a relapse on my um allergies too. So Atlanta was horrible, horrible,
oh, no
horrible.
kidding.
It really surprised me. And then I was kind of okay when I was in Florida, sort of, and then here has kind of reawakened it. It's not as bad as Atlanta, but I definitely am a little bit stuffed up, and that's just enough to make it annoying to try and get a good night's rest. But you know how it goes. Anyways,
Yeah,
it's good to it's good. It's all good, positive things.
yeah,
Um,
good. I've been keeping track of your social, and you've been going gangbusters. That's pretty amazing to see. And yeah. Um, Yeah, I guess it seems like we don't have anybody watching currently. Well, I don't know if we do or not because I'm here as a guest for some
there's a
reason. But
couple of people.
okay, cool. Haven't but yeah, yeah. What are people sipping on?
Nobody's
Anything good?
said anything yet.
Yeah,
And
everybody's
I am
shy.
fresh out of dinner, and I have not really been drinking so much today. Only
Yeah,
sipping with customers. So I might go somewhere after this. But
yeah, yeah. I mean, I just had a cucumber yesterday, a little liver holidays we talked about in our first episode of the year about mindful drinking. Every so often need to take a break, and yesterday was that day. So I don't even have a clear thing to say, oh, I was sipping on since it is morning here. I had a little coffee earlier, but unfortunately, no awamori in that. Yeah, but cool. What's on your mind? I guess the maybe we'll just jump onto the podcast, or
yeah,
do we have
yeah,
any
I
other
think that's a good
food news?
start. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so everyone, thanks for your patience on our podcast schedule this year. We did have a little bit of a delay in getting our last episode out, which was the Sanaburi Shochu episode with Jim Ryan, which is I think pretty fantastic content. Jim's a wealth of knowledge. He's fluent in Japanese and reading and as a translator, and he's been able to dig into some of the documentation about the history of Sanaburi Shochu, which was pretty fantastic conversation. It goes so much deeper than I was able to do in my book or you did in yours. So uh, kudos to him. And he just had his book out, Yamaguchi Sake, which is definitely worth a read. He's quite a man with words. He's a huge ambassador for Yamaguchi sake and culture generally, and makes me want to go visit. So
Mm.
pick up a copy of his book if you get a chance. Listen to the podcast episode, and our next episode, which is going to come out very soon. I was hoping to get it out today. It'll probably be tomorrow. Is on classic Japanese cocktails, and this is a deep dive with our good friend Matt Alt, who we had on to talk about. He's been on the live stream a couple of times now, and he did a two-part series with me on Jokichi Takamine a little bit back. We're now talking classic Japanese cocktails. Christopher, you were there in Tokyo when we were having our first experiences of these 19th century Japanese
Yeah, I
cocktails.
remember very well.
Yeah. And we talk a little bit about that, but we get really deep into the history of how cocktails arrived in Japan, where their place is in the culture. And we're not getting into modern Japanese cocktails because that's an entire separate episode we'll record in the future. But we wanted to get into the history, roll up our sleeves, and talk about the origins and all that. And it was pretty. I'm very excited about the episode. It's been a little bit of a challenge to edit because it's the first time I'm wanting to take the the linear narrative that we normally do. Because I script these things and then it's very easy to edit. This time I actually want to move sections around, and I'm not an editor, right? And
Sounds like a nightmare.
I'm not doing that edit, but I need to give the notes to our editor to figure it out, to make
Sure.
sure that it flows the way I want to. So, because we start at one thing, then we jump to another, then we go back to the first thing, and then we go back to the second thing. And I want it to be more of a flow. I guess that's the perfectionist in me, but we'll get it out soon. And that'll be Classic Japanese Cocktails, or a similar title with Matt. And Matt's always such an amazing conversationalist. He drops gems every single time I talk to him.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. No doubt.
yeah, there's some great quotes in that one. So anyway, yeah, podcasts are coming up soon. And I guess, yeah, anything else on your mind?
N-
We got
Um,
yeah,
I
this is
mean,
the
the
big
the
thing.
thing that's, yeah, I mean, all I'm doing is like day in, day out trying to chase leads and tie up loose ends for what's coming right in front of me. What is a little bit further out is what's happening next week. I'll be in New York for the first time this year, actually, and I am excited about that for a number of reasons, but primarily it's because we are doing some pop-ups in Greenpoint, which is in Brooklyn, at Rule of Thirds. And 3 nights in a row, May 17, 18, and 19, I am going to be joined at that amazing establishment by none other than Reina Mori. Reina Mori is, some of you know, some of you have met her. She is the chef owner of Yokaban, an amazing Shochu Izakaya in Kagoshima, in Tenmonkan, right in the entertainment zone of the city. And she has closed her shop for a few weeks, and she is flying over um, in a few days, and she's going to join me and another friend of ours, Emi Tomita, who's flying over with her to exhibit some of her paper cut artwork in a new series that she did that is Kyushu and Shochu themed. Um, and we're going to do this at Rule of Thirds 3 nights in a row. Now, the first night, I guess what I should probably do is um, share the event pages. Let's see, I always have to reteach myself how to do this because StreamYard makes it a little bit hard. Okay, present, and then share screen, and then Chrome tab. Let's go with this one. How about this? Is this the right one? I have no idea if this is the right one. That can't be the right one. This one I think is the right one. Maybe. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so hopefully you can see this now.
Yep.
Okay, yes, this is May 17th, and it's being billed as a shochu tasting with Reina from Izakaya 017, or actually 017 in Japanese can, if you play fast and loose with the rules here, be pronounced Reina, which is her name, which is why she always numbers her soccer uniforms 017. Yokaban, and with the support of Honkaku Spirits. And this is going to be hosted technically by Bin Bin Sake, which is the bottle shop that's inside of Rule of Thirds. Kind of not at the main entrance, it's on the other side of the building, but easily accessible from everything inside. We're going to do a free tasting there. You don't have to pay us anything, but you do have to reserve a spot here just so that we don't over subscribe the event. It will be primarily a Kagoshima Shochu experience, but we plan to mix in some other things as well just to make it interesting. And so yeah, that's the let me try this next. Stephen, let me know if you see this switch. Did it change?
Sure. No, it's still the May 17th.
It's still May 17th. Okay, so that means I have to stop sharing and do it again, which is super annoying.
Yeah, there's
So
some really good shochu on that shelf. I just wanted to comment in that picture.
there is some great, yes, you are correct. So that's the 17th, that's the
Yeah.
free night. The 18th and the 19th are I'll just show you one of these, but they're both on. I think it's Eventbrite or something. Uh, these other two nights, Reina is actually going to be cooking.
Hmm.
We are setting up a little kind of Yokaban area that's technically outside near those summer pavilions, like nearby there. And the whole thing is being outfitted, or yeah, basically furnished by um, Snow Peak, which
Wow.
probably for a lot of people don't know what that is. I imagine maybe
Hmm.
some people do, but from my way of putting it, and I don't know if you have a different perspective on this, but Snow Peak for me is kind of like the cool kind of outdoor camp gear company from Japan. It's like Patagonia 15, 20 years ago. I don't know if you get that vibe at all, but it is
Hmm.
certainly the cool kids brand, I think.
Yeah, sure. No, no question.
Yeah, and they are providing a bunch of the furniture, including like the camp stoves and everything, and Reina's gonna just cook on those
Yeah.
things. I have with me, it's those of you who have visited her place and eaten there, you know that she does one of the main things that she does is she uses these plates that
Hmm.
are formed from lava. They're basically they're molten rock that has hardened into a flat plate, and she puts it on an open flame so that you can grill things. And
Yeah.
I have one of them with me. She sent me one that I am muling over there, and I think she's bringing another one. We're getting like four of these outdoor kitchen camp stoves from Snow Peak, and a bunch of other stuff that, the little bench, the table area, and everything's going to be set up by them.
Oh, that's gonna be
And
so
pretty
much fun.
cool. Yeah, it is going to be quite cool. So it's going to be it's very on brand, I think, not only for Snow Peak, but also for Yokaban and the type of really, really jovial environment that she tries to set up. There's a bunch of seatings, but you do definitely need to make a reservation. I'm gonna share one more thing just so that you can see how this is
Cool.
different from the one that I shared previously. Let's do
Yeah.
this one. Here we go, share. So you should now be seeing this is actually the Friday event. So this is Friday, May 19th.
Okay.
And you can
And this is on
see
Resi.
that
Got it.
oh, it's on. I'm sorry. Thank you for saying that. It's on
Yeah.
Resi. You can see that the tickets are $45, and each ticket gets you a couple of glasses of shochu, and then also um, at least, and then one izakaya dish that Reina has prepared. You'll have, I believe the plan is to have two choices so that you can choose one or the other. That means you can come 2 nights in a row and have a different thing both times. But there's a number of seatings, as you can see. I think it's a very intimate kind of izakaya. No, what's the word?
Almost a yatai, right?
Yatai style. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
gonna be amazing.
I think there's only going to be like 8 seats per seating or something like that. So you're going to get to kind of interact with her, experience her energy and her take on things. But you definitely need to get in here quickly
Yeah.
and grab your tickets
I
on
cannot
Resi.
tell you how excited I would be if I were in New York right now. I mean,
It,
I thought about this morning because Susanna Skyver Barton uh, posted about this on Twitter, and I thought about it for a minute. I was like, wait a minute, we are bringing the best izakaya from Kagoshima, which is a 7-hour Shinkansen ride from Tokyo,
yep, it's not close.
to Brooklyn,
Yep,
where you can experience her hospitality without the $3,000 flight to Japan.
yep, that's a
Right?
good way to
That's
put it.
so $45 might seem a little rich for two drinks in a an izakaya dish, but that is unbelievable value. And
Yep.
she is just absolutely wonderful. I like seriously, if I'm putting myself in my New York self right now, and
Hmm.
I'm excited. This is just like exactly the kinds of things that I wish were happening when I was living there. And so it's
Yeah.
just so fantastic. I mean, I think all the izakaya hunters, the regulars who we know and love, Bill and Justin and all those guys are going to be super excited about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's very, very cool.
It is. It
They
is. It's super of her to entertain this idea, and
yeah,
she
and
wants to
she's
help spread the word about shochu, so that's why she's
yeah,
doing it.
she's closing her restaurant for what, 2, 3 weeks
It's like
in Kagoshima.
I think she closed it this entire week, so one week before she leaves, just to prepare. So I think she's closed for an entire month, no income.
Wow.
Yep.
Incredible.
She's
Yeah.
she's dedicated to this. She really wants it to be fun, and she's been preparing like you wouldn't believe. She's even been studying English, which
Yeah.
is just
She's been doing
which
that
is
for a
cool.
while, but maybe this has accelerated it, right? She had her cheat sheet that you helped make her a few years ago that she showed me once. She was very proud of because she knows some pretty simple phrases to welcome people and get orders and give them the check and stuff, make sure they have a good time. But yeah, she's gonna have to have a different level of English this time because she's gonna have very few Japanese customers.
Well, the last time I hung out with her, which was during the Hanami party in Tokyo that you attended,
Hmm.
she recited from memory a 2 minute long script in English explaining her background, why she started Yokaban, what her
Oh wow,
philosophy is, and everything. She had it all down. I was like, oh
wow,
boy,
very
we got a
impressive.
live one here. So
Wow,
she's
we've
been
always known
working
that with
really
her.
hard.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Um, I
amazing.
I think it's gonna be. I'm very excited. I'm also a little bit nervous because I've got to make sure that everybody's happy and healthy during
Sure.
this whole thing. But
What's
it's
can
worth
you
it.
maybe remind us of the dates and what days of the week those are as well? You said 17th,
So
18th,
the
19th, is that right?
Wednesday, the 17th is the Bean Sake kind of free tasting and
Okay.
meet and greet. You'll get to Reina, of course, will be there. Emmy will be there, and everybody can hang out with them.
Hmm.
The 18th and the 19th are a Thursday and a Friday, and those are the ones where I would be concerned. Like you should grab a ticket because those are
Yeah,
gonna fly.
yeah.
So uh, the yeah, I am hoping to get a little bit of an update from the venues soon because I already know of like 15 people who have bought tickets. So
Hmm.
it's like I hope that people can get a seat when they want to get a seat.
Hmm.
Yeah, 2 nights only. Um,
Very cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I got to get that out to my friends in New York who I know would be interested because we sort of lost some of our social media connections with evolution of Facebook and whatnot. I mean, I haven't been on Facebook much in the last couple of years, as probably people realize. Um, but I do have some groups there I can probably drop it into, and we'll
yeah,
try to
that'd
get the
be
word out.
great. Just yeah, go to my profile and then just share that maybe
Yeah,
or like adjust it and vault it into the stratosphere or whatever the ether. I'm
yeah,
not sure what they call it, but.
very cool. And she's in the States for another week after that, right? This is the
That's
first week,
right.
and then the
That's
next
true.
week. Yeah.
There are a few events that are forming on the West Coast. Those are a little further out. So there's only one that is really firmly in place. I will share that one now. Um, the lovely people, not that button, you jackass. Okay, this button. Here we go. Um, Umami Mart is
Mm.
is coming through yet again, and here's what they have put together for us. This very cool, kind of bar takeover, Shochu bar 017 Yokaban. And that's a picture of Reina right there if you've never had the good fortune to meet her. And this one is going to be fun. It's going to be very much in the Yokaban style. It's going to be kind of a it's gonna feel a little bit more like Yokaban just in terms of
Hmm.
what we can offer. There's not gonna be food necessarily, maybe snacks because they don't
There's
have
a
a
few bites. Yeah,
kitchen license, but
yeah, some
they do.
prepared food probably, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But they
Cool.
do have enough space for some drinking and some game playing. There's going to be the second ever Yokaban, not Yokaban, Nanko tournament at Umami Mart. We've done one.
Oh,
We did one last year. We're going to do another
I
one.
love that game.
Make sure that we have some presents for the winners and for second place and third place as well. So we had a great time with the first ever tournament last year, and I'm sure this is going to be even better because we have a special guest who will be
Yep.
joining us to make sure that everybody's having a great time. So, all right, let me stop sharing that. So,
Yeah.
those are a few things coming up. There may also we're working on another one on that one at Umami Mart is Friday the 26th. We also
Mhm.
have one that we're working on the 20 Tuesday the 23rd. It's taken a little time to get that one into place, and then there's also potentially one the following week
Oh
in
wow.
LA. So
No, no kidding.
yeah,
Lot
lots of
lot going
things,
on.
kind of a lot going
Yeah.
on. Yeah, no doubt.
exciting.
Not at
I'm
all.
pretty stoked that all this is happening. I'm also having a little bit of FOMO that I'm going to be here in Fukuoka, holding down the holding down the fort while you're off having fun with Reina. That's going to be great. Really,
It
really
should be fun.
excited.
Yeah, I hope that she gets as much out of it as all of the
Hmm.
guests will get out of it. But this is really a she's being very generous with her time
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
bring Kagoshima culture in her backpack to
Yeah,
New York and
what
California.
what's going to be really, really interesting, and I'll set a little bit of context here, is when we did the finals for the cocktail competition, and we do talk about this on the episode that's coming out soon. The bartender who was tasked with making these drinks, Tsutsumi-san from Bar Ugle here in Fukuoka, he was so confused by like how did people think of these as recipes for cocktails?
Hmm,
Because Japanese bartending is all about it's orthodox, it's classic international bartending, right? It's a tuxedo, it's making the perfect Manhattan, the perfect old fashioned, the perfect whatever drink they're going to make from the cocktail recipe books from the 19th and early 20th centuries, that's what they're going to make. So
sure.
the idea of coming up with these recipes on your own and making new cocktails is just was kind of mind blowing for him. And
Hmm.
I'm really curious how that just that 2 or 3 hour experience is going to change how he makes drinks in the future. And I'm wondering what I'm really curious about with Adena is how, this is going to be a life changing experience for her, right? And it's as much as it's going to be an amazing experience for the guests. I'm so curious how she's going to shift in her thinking, both for shochu promotion and for running an izakaya. Now that Japan's reopened and the foreigners are going to start to show up, but we talk about her all the time. If it's not full of tourists going to Kagoshima, we're not doing our job, right?
True. True.
So I'll be very, very curious to see what evolution happens in her hospitality as a result of this visit to the States. That's going to be really fun to watch.
It should be. Yeah, you're right. It should be amazing to watch. Yeah, no idea. I'm just trying to get all the T's crossed and the I's dotted.
No, I know.
I just
You're
feel like, oh man.
you're in the muck, and I'm thinking like, what's the long term
Yeah, no, I think
significance of this?
there certainly are going to be paradigm shifts here. I think you're
Yep.
absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely not to be missed. If you are in New York City those 3 days, or in the West Coast on those days, or you should prioritize attending and meeting her. Just go to the
Yeah,
free tasting. If you don't, do just
yeah. If
get
nothing
there,
else.
meet her, take the time to get to know her a little bit, and you'll see why we love her and talk about her and her shop so much because she
Yep,
really is a absolutely unbelievable human. So yeah,
no
great.
doubt. Well said. Yeah, so that's all the news that's fit to print for me anyway. Um,
Yeah, gonna maybe I guess I could do a newly opened. I'm sure you're not carrying around half open bottles of booze. I
well,
don't.
I am, but they're all samples that I am
Sure.
brainwashing people with when I walk into
Yeah,
their shops.
I don't think I've talked about this one before, so I'll go ahead and do it. But it's not that freshly open, but this is one I've really been
Oh
enjoying. This
yeah.
is Hitorioruki Koshu. So it's the aged version of Hitorioruki. And we talked about this in the Furusawa episode. This was one that her father created. That's it's an absolutely beautiful shochu. Whenever we see it in an izakaya or a shochu bar in Miyazaki, which is about the only place you can find this stuff, we definitely enjoy a glass. And when I visited the distillery late last year, I was able to pick up an ishobin of Hitorioruki Koshu, which I was super excited about. And I think I might just need to make this in part of my regular rotation where this is when this is empty, I call her up and say, please may I have another? Because it's just really, really easy drinking. It's got that aged sense, which I always like that depth of like the aging. I love aged awamori and I really do
Sure.
enjoy aged shochu as well. And this
Yeah.
is a good one. Not nearly as old as Mahoko. So if folks in the States are curious about aged shochu from Furusawa, then Mahoko would be the play there. That's 18 years old and was actually made by her father, the actual distillate, which is crazy. Um, so that's my relatively newly opened. But it's a good one. So yeah,
Good choice. That's a
and I'm
favorite of mine. Love it.
yeah, good stuff. Yeah, and I don't know if you can't see. Actually, you can. This is like the samples have started piling up. I understand the dilemmas that you have sometimes, Christopher.
Yeah.
This is sample boxes on sample boxes,
Now they're up
and
at
like
the above
I'm
the height
actually
of the
like
counter.
yeah, but I'm basically surrounded by cardboard
Same,
filled with
same.
glass right here,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
like I have no place to move around. I'm just staying in this one little spot, and I'm gonna have to do something about this. So yeah, you've been good about starting to tell people no on samples, and I think I need to learn that lesson very soon.
I shout no. I don't tell them. I scream it. No more. No more.
Yeah,
I want to stay married, please.
yeah.
Uh,
I was talking to a distillery the other day, and they were really interested to send me something, and they were like, "Do you think Christopher would like some?" And I said, "Absolutely not. I will
thank you.
share it with him when he comes to Fukuoka."
I, I absolutely do not want more. I kind of cringe at the thought of how many new boxes are piled up in the Genkan that my poor wife has to kind of tiptoe around when she leaves and re-enters the home. God, I'm gonna hear it.
Yeah,
I can already hear it.
I know at least one box of samples has actually been returned to the distillery. Um, I guess your wife refused delivery.
No, did she really?
No, I don't think she refused, but they weren't able to deliver it, so they sent it back to Okinawa.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that tracks.
We we
Here's
we
a
we're getting it taken care of. Don't worry. I'm trying to keep things up to
damn it.
date.
Yeah,
Those are samples
maybe.
you actually need, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I can warn her that she should not, play defense on these and take them in and just chuck them into my office. But
Yeah.
shoot. All
I
right.
like that idea, Garrett. Especially if the price is right. So I mean, fortunately, I guess I'm a little bit fortunate because I do have office space that I can throw things if I need to, but it's also just a hassle to move it over there and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh. Anyway, yeah,
cool. Yeah,
first world
these
problems.
yeah beyond
So,
beyond first world problems. This is like drinks professionals problems, I think.
yep. Okay, cool. It was good to do this again. Sorry everybody
Yeah,
for the lack of transmissions from our
yeah,
general direction to yours.
yeah.
We will try to
I
do
guess
better.
I guess next week you're actually gonna have Reina and Emmy in New York.
In the evening, it'll be Tuesday night. It depends. Yeah, I mean, maybe, probably not. We're probably gonna
Yeah,
be out at dinner or something. I have no
yeah.
idea.
Maybe
Can
yeah.
give it a
Let's not.
shot.
So maybe we won't do one next week. But what I would say is maybe we do a special episode to once you've got the California events scheduled. Maybe we just do a special
Just
live stream. It won't necessarily be at this time and day, but we'll get something up to let people know about it.
sure. Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
might be possible, and I don't know. It may be possible to do something during one of the pop-ups, just to
Oh, that would be
briefly
cool.
get on. Who knows?
Yeah.
It might
Maybe, I
have. It would
mean,
have to be on a different day, though.
yeah, maybe we could get one of our friends in New York to actually host the live stream from their phone, or I could be the host and they can join as a guest and show us what's going on. Because I'm sure you and Nana and Emmy will be busy, but maybe one of
That
our
might be
friends that are in New
possible
York.
too. That
Maybe we'll
might
try to
that
do that next week. That'd be fun.
could be. Yeah, good
Yeah.
call. Okay.
All right. Cool. Any volunteers? Just send us a message. Let us know.
DM Steven.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
And hope to see you guys again soon. We do have the podcast dropping, so please keep an eye out for that. Another one that came up today in discussion was the $200 Koji Spirits Home Bar. If you haven't listened to that one yet, please go ahead and do that. Somebody else told me that it was a good one. I guess
Yeah,
maybe I should listen to it too.
we got lots of. Well, you were there.
I did listen to it once. Yep.
Yeah. Um, yeah. That I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that episode, so that was good to hear. But cool. Yep.
Excellent.
Always appreciate the feedback. So great. Yeah, this is longer than I expected. Thanks for
All right.
hanging out
Yeah,
and get some rest. Have a nightcap if you need one.
will do. Yeah, I got one
Yeah.
more account to go visit. I should probably do it tonight just to say hi.
Cool.
So I will
Sounds
talk
good.
to you again soon, Steve, and everybody else,
Yep.
hopefully within the next week. If not, you know where to find us. Stay happy, stay healthy. And from both of us to all of you all around the world, a very hearty and heartfelt kanpai.
Kanpai.